commandment, he'll be successful. The Most High will deliver him from the hand of Babylon, from the hand of the Edomite, and from the hand of the Chinese. And if he had to do a deal with the Chinese, it will be win and win. It won't be the country losing and just a couple of people winning and then the whole majority, just being loser. No. He got to repent. We are inviting, we calling on who? On Daniel Ortega to repent and keep God's commandment. He's an Israelite. Okay, he's an Israelite. All right? So let's keep on rolling. Okay, let's keep on rolling. You say, Ortega also wants continued Chinese funding for the construction of an Atlantic to Pacific canal through Nicaragua, which People's Liberation Army warship can then use to access the Caribbean. So he's inviting the Chinese to come and help him build this canal that will allow him to move from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, okay, from point A to point B. Okay, let's jump right here to this paragraph. He said, Nicaraguan Foreign Minister, right, Denis Moncada has expressed interest, according to Chinese state media, in joining China's Belt and Road Initiative, the overseas infrastructure investment that U.S. officials regard as a predatory lending scheme to buy an empire. So the USA looking at it, they're buying the whole empire. They're buying the whole Latin America. If they're able to build this canal, the USA, taking a look at that, he say, you know what, this is a threat. Okay, he said they're buying the whole Latin America. He says some economic projects in the region already have caught the attention of U.S. Babylon the Great national security official. Okay, especially as then Secretary of State Mike Pompeo Global, that's the former devil that worked with who? With the other puppet, Donald Trump. Keep in mind, that wicked one. He's a wretch. A wretch. Okay. It's a global campaign. To warn allies that Chinese telecommunications infrastructure represents an espionage threat. What you worry about? The USA espion everybody. They're the number one in espionage. The United States of America, a couple years ago, we find out under who? Obama, that they were spying all the European presidents, even Angela Merkel, the Chancellor Angela Merkel. They were listening to the communication of all the presidents in the world worldwide. Who? The United States of America. They're good at it. Okay, that's what they do. This is Babylon the Great. They're good at it. They spy everywhere. That's why they get embassy in your country. The reason why they get embassy in your country, they spy you, they're watching everything you're doing. Everything you're doing, whatsoever you say you're plotting, America know it. They know it. This is the eagle, man. This is the eagle. The eagle, he's high over there, taking a look at everything you're doing. Keep in mind. Okay. Right? They do. They're the one that doing espionage to every country. All of a sudden, they want to say that the Chinese telecommunication infrastructure in the world or Latin America is a threat. No, man, you a liar, Esau. You've been confounded now. You thought that you're going to continue to do the same weakness, right? Okay, let's read it. It said the region is ripe, right? No, it's ripe for investment. It's ripe for investment, for engagement with a partner of China's size in different sectors. Heritage Foundation Research Assistant Mateo Haddest said, and China is capitalizing on that in ways that I think we are failing to recognize and at a speed that I think we are failing to respond to. So, it is what it is. Chinese official offered a more elaborate preview of the ambition for the region just a few days before Nicaragua cut ties with Taipei. They cut tie with Taipei. They cut tie with Taipei. They cut tie with Taiwan. You already know. Taipei. The China CELAC Summit, okay, on December 3rd, culminated in the adoption of a plan not only to tighten economic ties, but to enhance political and security cooperation while deepening China's involvement in high-tech sphere. So pretty much China is investing in high-tech to counterattack who? Babylon the Great, the Western, let's keep in mind. From cyberspace, there we go. and artificial intelligence to space science, satellite, data sharing, satellite application, construction of ground infrastructure, and even nuclear energy. There we go. Right? You say they are absolutely ambitious to China to become the dominant influence in Latin America, haate added. The challenge is comprehensive and there is absolutely a security and military interest there. There we go. That threat is growing. It is a different kind of threat than what we saw with the Soviet threat, with the Soviet Union. So you got to keep in mind. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Now we want to put it out there. If you're so-called Latino, if you live in Latin America, in the Caribbean, let your leader know. If they sign any weakness, plan deal with the Chinese, the Most High will strike them. And them and the Chinese, the Most High will strike them. Let them know. If it's to abuse the people and to do evil, let the Chinese know. Let them know. Let them know when you guys see that. Hey, the brother making videos saying that our God Yahweh, if they steal anything from Latin America to do any evil, they don't do it righteously, as the Most High allowed them to go in the land to do things. And if they don't do it righteously, with righteous and judgment and justice, the Most High will strike the Chinese, and the Kun and the sellout that will join him with them. Regardless of the country, whether it be Mexico, whether it be Venezuela, whether it be Colombia, Nicaragua, Mexico, El Salvador, listen, the Most High will strike you. The Most High will destroy you. The Most High will cut you off. The Most High will kill you. Keep in mind. Okay? It's in the Bible. We're going to go into. Let's read it. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verses 32. Let's read it. It reads, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. So right now, there is no might in our people in Latin America, in our people in West Africa and part of Africa. There is no might. Why? Because we sin against the Most High. Because we fail to apply Deuteronomy chapter 18 verses 1 through 14. We fail to apply. We fail to apply Deuteronomy 27 and 26. We fail to apply to keep the commandment. So what happened? The Most High gave us into the hand of who? Our enemy. He sent them against us. So who sent the Chinese to Latin America? It's the Most High. It's the Most High. The same way the Most High sent Esau, Edom, the so-called white people, in Africa, in Jerusalem, and in Latin America, throughout the fucking receiue. Same way. So we got to look at it that way. That as long as we lie in the sin, we do evil, these people going to rule over us. Let's jump right here. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? And verses 33. The fruit of thy land, okay, our land, West Africa, Africa, or Latin America, the Caribbean, Haiti, okay. And the fruit, he said, the fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. So, Chinese coming into America is to fulfill the prophecy of the Most High. So the people in Nicaragua, Guatemala, okay, El Salvador, Mexico, okay, Chile, Brazil, Peru, Bolivia, and the list goes on and on and on. Haiti, Dominican Republic, the island, Saint Dominica, whatever, you name it, is to oppress you because you don't want to keep the commandment, because you don't want to live Catholicism, you don't want to live Christianity, you don't want to live Islam. No, is to oppress you because you don't want to keep the commandment. Ye so-called Latino, and you are his, man. Our brother, the so-called Latino, they are his, man. When you go out there to prophesy unto them, to bring out the word, they want them, give it, they don't want to take heed, man. They don't want to take heed because they love oppression. So guess what? The Most High is saying who? China. The Most High say China is going to build some road. They're going to build some canal for you. They're going to build some new cell phone, some laptop. They're going to set up some good satellite. You're going to have a good communication, things like that. And you feel like, oh, wow, that sounds good. That's good. Guess what? It's to oppress you. They're going to take over your land. They're going to poison your food. They're going to feed you abomination. They're going to feed you abominable thing. And they're going to kill your children. That's what they're going to do. That's the job. That's what. Let me read it again. The fruit of that land. So when they come into Nicaragua, they're going to take some natural resources from them. Because they don't have enough food over there too. They're running out of food in China too. Right? Because there are many of them. That's where they got to take the land of the other people. That's where they got to settle in Africa. They got to settle here. They don't have enough food now. It's so many of them. Right? It's okay. Right? But guess what? They're supposed to be able to live in their own land and leave everybody alone. But this is a Bible prophecy. Right? So we read it. He said, the fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Hallelujah. Leviticus 26 and 16. Leviticus chapter 26 is the same thing. Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy 28, same precept. Talking about same thing. Same thing. The curses and the blessing. Okay, curses and blessing as you read in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Leviticus 26, Deuteronomy 28 goes hand in hand. Precept and precept. So let's go to it. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 26. Okay. Leviticus 26 and verse 16. Let's read it. Leviticus 26 and 16. I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. Amen, hallelujah. That's the Most High, man. That's where the Chinese got to come in. The Most High send them. Because we don't want to listen. You got wicked of our people in power, weakness. Right? Say, let's jump right here. Right? This is the book of Revelation, Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verses 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy father have known. Okay? There we go. That's what we're reading. Neither thee nor thy father have known. That's what the Most High see. Okay. Okay. Neither thee nor thy father has known. Okay. Neither thee nor thy father. Okay. Let's read it. He said, neither thee nor thy father have known. And there, once in these places, and there thou shalt thou serve other gods. What are we going to serve? Idols. Which idol? The cross, the moon, and the star, and the stone in the Mecca. Okay? Wood and stone. There we go, man. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Right? Let's jump to verses 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Who? So-called blacks, Latino, and Native. We're going to come down very low. Very, very low. Okay. He shall lend to thee. That's why Ortega Daniel, he called who? He called for the Chinese to come and help them. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. Now, Nicaragua cannot lend unto the Chinese. No. The Most High said they're going to lend unto us. Go, Ortega Daniel is not keeping God's commandment. And thou shalt be the tail. You see, we're going to be the tail, and they're going to be the head, man. Moreover, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. So, until we be destroyed. Because why? Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy Yahweh, to keep his commandment and his statute which he command thee. There we go. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, and upon our seed forever. See that? Because, why? Because again, thou servest not the Lord thy Yahweh with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee. So who send the Chinese against our people in Nicaragua and all these places? Who send them? There's the Most High, man. Yahweh sent them. Yahweh sent them into our people in Africa, into our people in America, Latin America, in the Caribbean, and the list goes on and on and on. Right? He said, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flying. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Because the vast majority of our people, you take the brother in Nicaragua, what do they speak? They speak Spanish. Right? Now, do they understand Chinese? Do they speak Mandarin? They don't. In general, they do not. They don't understand. So, that's why they need an interpreter. There's some brother that learn Chinese specifically just to help out the government. Just to help out the government. Okay? Just to help out the Nicaragua government to be able to break down things to them. What did the Chinese say? Partenariat